right.
It's true. Yeah, clearly can't tell the future because we very rarely get our predictions right, but...
Okay, let's see though. SereNity do get the choice of side. Remember, it was Darksided that did choose this map, having lost the last one. So, SereNity have decided to go for triple tank, also with the Junkrat on the defense here. Moira as well there. So if the Junkrat goes down here, that's the win condition right now for Darksided. That's going to be a lot of damage off the field for SereNity.
Yeah, Junkrat, Ryan, and Diva. We've seen Junkrat with the Orisa and the Roadhog, but less of this so far in Australian Contenders. We'll see how SereNity do here on defense. USMC back out on the Sombra. We've seen some pretty good play, but it wasn't enough to get them across the line on Hollywood. I hope at least for Darksider's sake that maybe it'll be enough here on Horizon Lunar Colony. Wonder if you can hack faster on the moon, but the fight does come out. Turbo goes down. Great work, and Graphics does trade one back, a tank for a DPS. I'm not sure which is quite better, but
90% on Kavino right now. He's actually charging that one up so quickly. Graphics does drop to the Junkrat, and now Riptire is ready for the next fight here for SereNity. Perhaps even just before the next fight, maybe to deny even more time for Darksided, waiting for those respawns. Let's see how hard Darksided will commit to this one now, knowing, or at least having a suspicion at least, that Kavino does have the ultimate available. Fluoro Ash coming up on the sound barrier shortly as well. Forbles has got Coalescence. That's the benefit of having so many tanks. You can just heal up so much. Riptire is out, looking for someone. Not going to find anything.
No, that's not a great use of that Riptire. Certainly not indeed. We'll see how SereNity goes on this hold. USMC pushes in, wants to stay alive, wants to use that EMP, gets the EMP off. A Dragon Blade does come out. Graphics D-Mech almost picked up as well. Fluoro Ash has gone down, and look at this, SereNity taking a ton of damage across the board. Darkseid looking better, half of that coming out of Turmo, I suspect.
Yeah, Fluoro Ash was not able to get the sound barrier down in time in that fight. That really is the key difference here, but maybe he'll be able to come back in here and recontest with that Graviton Surge out from Nox. There's a couple of kills going in the favor of SereNity. Indeed, it does look like they might be able to contest this point, particularly now that Fluoro Ash is coming back. The sound barrier is ready, needs to make sure he doesn't get picked a little bit too early on here, and indeed he does. Oh no!
That
goes just a little bit too aggressive. The self-destruct comes out for Arceus, but that might not be a good idea as Turmo drops him before he gets back into the mech. Just some poor ultimate usage out there from SereNity. Well, not even ultimate usage out there actually from Fluoro Ash. Just a little bit too much of a trickle. If they would have gone in together, Diva and the Lucio, sound barrier maybe comes out there. Maybe SereNity has a good chance to actually hold off on that, but they're going to only be able to hold on to the second point now, and high ground has already been established for Darksided.
They're going to try and push this point. Graphics here with the self-destruct ready to go. They can pick up the Winston. No, unfortunately cannot. Turmo going to go down as well. Self-destruct is used, but not in a great position. Really just resetting that mech, going for a first tick here. USMC going to be able to come through with his EMP as well, and if he can grab 4 balls in the meantime, that's great positioning here. Looking pretty good for Darksided right now.
Certainly is. USMC coming up on the EMP here as well. Doesn't need it just yet, but for the next fight, when Darksided really fully commits to it, this is going to be a problem for SereNity. And I was going to say that somebody needed to get rid of Forbles. He was just sitting up there uncontested on the Zenyatta, peppering away at all those Darksided players down on the point. And that is exactly what USMC did. That really put a bit of an advantage in the Darksided favor. The sleep, that'll buy a little bit more time for SereNity here. That's fun news for them. But Darksided, they're going to really push in with some ultimates available now.
They will, and they've looked good even without them, Jordan. So I want to see how this plays out. A hack is used, and the EMP is ready, as you can see. And well, Arceus does find 2, and both of those support. So straight away, Darksided is stopped in their tracks here on the push. But so much time on the rocket clock.
That's fine. That's fine. SereNity, okay, they utilized the EMP in that last one. I think Nox also used Tac Visor. So no DPS ultimates to hold this one off for SereNity. The key is going to be Forbles not getting picked. He needs to avoid hitting or being hit by the EMP. Kavino going a bit aggressive there. Does have to translocate out. But yeah, if USMC can hit Forbles with this EMP, that's probably going to be game over for SereNity. They need that Transcendence to stay alive in this fight.
You can see that SereNity is holding back at the end. Look at that. Straight away, not even giving them a chance. Here we go. Translocator EMP time. We'll use that play, and it might actually work out. 2 have been picked up. Darkseid looking very strong now. just Arceus left alive in terms of tanks. We're going to be forced back onto the point.
Uh-oh,
has a self-destruct. Here we go.
Yeah, Arceus will go down, though I don't think anyone's there to contest for SereNity.
Nope.
Indeed, it is not the case. A good EMP out from USMC denies Mini the Primal Rage. That might be the difference there for Darkside at a very, very fast time. 3 minutes and 15 left on the clock. Not the fastest that we've seen, but certainly enough time to play with should this one go through to the second round. But SereNity have looked pretty good so far up against Darksiders.
They have.
Let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
No. Especially not on the moon, Jordan, because I'm not sure how chickens would even go on the moon.
Maybe not as good as
You couldn't even put little breathing devices on them. Like, that would be hard in themselves. I don't think they'd keep them on. I think it'd be a real tough sell. And then they would fly weird, and it's just not good. So definitely don't count your chickens at all here on the moon before they hatch.
No.
Don't do it. So if I'm Darksided, and I've just lost that previous map to SereNity, I'm going to say, look, we did pretty well here on attack. I want a full hold on defense. I want to stick it to them. I want to show them who's boss. And if I'm SereNity, I want to prove that what we just saw on Hollywood wasn't a flash in the pan. They can actually take it to this Darksided lineup.
I think a full hold is a pretty tough ask here, Ben. I mean...
Oh, it is. It is. That's why it's such a statement, Jordan.
Yeah, I guess. And we sort of spoke about the statement that Darksided gave us on Nepal after dropping that first round. They came away and got 200% to zeros. Now they've just lost a map. What's their statement going to be here on Horizon Lunar Colony? Well, their attacking side was fairly good, but it wasn't, you know, something special, so to speak. If they would have finished that with 7 minutes on the clock, then yeah, I could definitely be talking about that. But
the
3 minutes...
first point was pretty good. The second point felt okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it was bad, but it was not absolutely stellar. It wasn't something from another world, you know. So...
Well, but the moon's not a world, though, right? It's like it's a moon.
I get that.
Okay, just
but
checking.
Let's see what Darksided can do on the defense here. USMC is around the back. The Sombra. Not getting much luck there.
Sombra v Sombra once again. We'll see which one plays out better. Swilko, though, on the Ana. We haven't seen much Ana so far in Australian Contenders, Jordan.
No, not too much. I'm a big fan of Ana, though. I mean, she's not that strong right now, but she is definitely very fun to watch. Swilko doing some work right now, getting the heals across. The Biotic Nade does help out there as well. Darksided, first pick does go their way. A lot of damage out onto both of the healers there of SereNity, one of them being already dead.
Termo here on this Junkrat, just doing a little bit of damage across the board, not doing anything insane, as they will finally take out Arceus, waiting for him to wake up. And just trying to slow things down a little bit more, waiting for that respawn. Kavino going to come up at a pretty similar time, I suspect. There we go. And Swilko, Biotic Grenade. Sorry, the ulti ready to go. The nano boost.
Well, there it is as well. Straight out onto Mooney, who charges forward, finds the better of Forbles. Never fun to be going up against an ultimated Winston. No.
Annoying at the best of times, to be perfectly honest. Forbles, Fleur Ash, both down here. Arceus close to death as well. Will get demech'd. And neither result is ideal. And Darkseid pushing a long way forward. Jordan, the clock continues to tick. 220, and it's not looking great here for SereNity.
No, it's not. But they have started to get some ultis up now. Forbles does have Transcendence. Kavino. EMP is there. Mini and Fluoro Ash getting close to theirs as well. On the same token, Darksided have got quite a few to play with here too. But Kavino is looking for a cheeky EMP. I think he's going to need the translocator here to get the high ground. USMC gets the first EMP off Mooney. Does get Forbles though.
Yeah, well, this may help now. USMC's gone, but once you lose both your tanks, that is not great. They'll go for the one tick, but Darksided jumps on board just in time and will say, no thank you, we're going to keep the scoreboard 2-0.
Yep, not much used by SereNity there. There was a pulse bomb out from Nox, but they still keep their EMP, their Transcendence. Sound Barrier now has come up as well. This is going to be the committed push out from SereNity, and this is the one that they need to make work.
Let's go. Let's go, SereNity. Here we go. Sound Barrier comes out. No EMP to counter that one for now. Kavino has one EMP for his team. We'll see this come on out. No need to use it just yet. Would love to save it. There we go. Used on quite a majority of the team. Kavino does go down. It cost him his life, but potentially that one's worth it. Molotov picks up a kill and picks up two. So Dark-sided may be holding this.
I think they might just be. Arceus does get one there with the self-destruct, but goes down before getting back into the mech once again. Dark-sided seem to be holding strong. There was some ticks picked up there by SereNity, but I really like the positioning of Dark-sided in that fight. They saw it coming. They knew that SereNity was going to come for them in that fight. They heard that sound barrier pop. They backed out, disengaged, essentially nullifying all that shield of Fluoro Ash. It kind of dissipated before the fight really even started. So just some really good work from Dark-sided in that fight.
Yeah, they need to get on the point here because they're starting to capture it. SereNity going for a cheeky push, and finally we will see a Transcendence come out trying to fight it on the point now. Cavino wanting to push through with this hack, but they're losing time, they're losing players. 20 seconds on the clock. Dark-sided, if you take a look at them, they've got a Riptire about to come up.
Oh, it hurts so much.
Not great.
There's 10 seconds left on the clock, Ben, and Arceus is down only now. Not even going to respawn before the end of the round does pop. That's going to be really, really painful for SereNity.
We're into overtime. Cavino jumps into the point with that translocator, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. What can SereNity do? You see that Rampage coming out here from the Winston.
Well, they're winning the fight, I can tell you that much. Transcendence is out for SereNity, quite safe on the point right now. Nox getting a lot of work done around and on the point, up to 77% of the pulse bomb. Cavino's coming up on an EMP. This might be
Are they going to do it?
The dastardly escape for SereNity. They do cap away that first point, and now they're charging their way on through to second. Cavino with the EMP available. What can SereNity do? They've still got time to, I suppose, get an even-ish score in this first round. Riptire is out though. Termo could come up big. Only able to get one. Fluoro Ash though, that's a decent enough start for Dark-sided to the fight. There's a trade back though. One healer for one healer. Fair is fair, I suppose. Cavino still looking around for some kills. The EMP has already come out. Mini coming up, absolutely massive right now. Getting so many kills for SereNity, and this is actually looking like an excellent push onto the second point. Graphics is going to be the key here. The respawn needs to come across with that self-destruct. That might just be enough to push SereNity off the point.
Oh, so close. Surely they pick it up now. There we go.
1 second.
That's
the difference.
After all of that. After all of that. How close. Almost a full hold there from Dark-sided on the first point. I thought my prediction was coming right, and then all of a sudden, essentially on that first push, 1.5 pushes onto the point, that second point, they pick it up. Wow.
Wow, indeed. Bit of egg on your face there, Ben.
Well,
chicken came first or the egg, who knows?
Can't be right all the time.
All I know is there's egg, and it's smushed all over your face.
Thanks, mate.
Scrambled.
No, I like poached eggs.
I'm more of a fan of scrambled, to be honest, but...
Yeah, because your brain is scrambled, mate. Oh. Wow, so be it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Dark-sided, though. They're going to be feeling a little bit unhappy about that. I mean, they had a really, really good push, or rather, really good hold on that first point. They had a good push in their own attacking side, but then SereNity... Something came over them as soon as they got that first point. They were like, oh, guys, we can do this.
Oh, look.
We can actually cap points.
We are actually able to take it to Dark-sided. And 1 second. That was so close in the end. I think, it didn't look like they should have won it. I don't even think we saw the Riptire come out either, Jordan, that Dark-sided had ready to go. Because we heard it come out on the second point. So I'm not even 100% sure whether he just didn't get back in time, got picked off before he got to use the Riptire, didn't think it was needed, whatever the end result, it didn't do what it needed to do. And now we'll see SereNity here on attack, potentially in a position to come out in the lead. Yeah, well, this is anybody's game right now, isn't it? Only that 1 second, the difference. SereNity attacking first here. Dark-sided, a very, very similar setup. This time, though, Termo back onto the Soldier as opposed to the Junkrat. Very strong Soldier player. I kind of like the Soldier, to be honest. Junkrat can be sometimes a little inconsistent. Soldier, you always know what you're going to get out of him. USMC forced to translocate back out of that one. Looking for some health here. Needs to get that up quickly before getting back into the fight here. But SereNity are being kept at bay for now. We did see Cavino on the point before. Actually managed to pick up 1 tick, so that's better than egg in the face, I suppose, Jordan. But with graphics going to pick up 1, 2. Termo gets the third. And this will be a pretty cruisy hold. Almost a 2 ticks, but 1 tick will count. Look, at least they've got something off that, though. SereNity did really split up in that fight. It was kind of 3 players in one part of the map and 3 players on the point. And Dark-sided was, you know, quite capable of picking them apart from that. Like to see SereNity just grouping up a little bit better here, making sure those dives are all coordinated.
And it does seem like they're being much less pressured by Darksided on their way to the point in this one. Turbo, however, already does have the tactical visor. That is bad news here for SereNity. He is just going to be poking away at quite a lot of players. Nox still alive here, dancing around on the tracer, but has to back out. Too many players have already been lost by SereNity there. Another unsuccessful push.
And with this sort of time frame, obviously coming through for the second time, every percentage point counts. 59.6% is as far as SereNity got.
Yep.
And it kind of feels like they almost stole that, Jordan. Like, didn't even necessarily deserve to get that far. So Darksided potentially a little bit disappointed with that as a result. 120 on the clock now to work with. Like 2 battles, we'll see how it goes, maybe with a bit of trickle to come in. This one's going to kick it off though.
It's going to come down to who gets the EMP off first in this fight. Whichever does not, there will still be an opportunity in the next fight, but it is going to be Darksided with the EMP out first. Forbles goes down early, Cavino down early. Nox able to get Turmo at least to trade things back for SereNity, but it was a good EMP out from USMC, which results in another wipe for SereNity, but this time Cavino's not going to have to worry about getting his EMP off first. There is going to be a stagger here onto Arceus, but realistically, SereNity probably only have one more push in them here anyway. We have to expect to see everything followed up here right now for SereNity. That EMP self-destruct combo could be deadly for them.
They have a lot of ultimates here to use. 4 up against 4. The advantage being, Jordan, if you can come on with that EMP so early, that's going to be very, very useful. Maybe Molotov's going to want to come out with a Transcendence before the battle really kicks off. We'll have to see whether he chooses to use it or not. Cavino, what's the play?
Still no EMP out from Cavino. Swilko down very low, does heal himself up with a bio nade. Self-destruct does come out there from Arceus. Nothing from it. Cavino, though, gets a good EMP off, but Transcendence is still popped for Darksided. Good work from Molotov, keeping his teammates alive. The Pulse Bomb from Nox, able to get one, but it's all just madness right now on the point as SereNity fights so hard for it. I'm not sure it's going to go their way. Darksided still have some left in the back. Graphics has got the self-destruct. Not going to utilize it there. That's a bit of a surprise. Perhaps holding it on for the next point, because it does seem as though SereNity are getting the better of Darksided on point number 1. And the cap will come across as overtime continues to tick. 30 seconds for SereNity to get as much as possible on the second point. They've got absolutely bugger all to play with.
Surely they don't get anything here, Jordan. Surely the answer is 0.
Well, Nox 80% on the Pulse Bomb. That's going to be the difference. If he can get both the healers with the Pulse Bomb or something like that, that might be an opening for SereNity. But as far as I can see, that's really the only way into this fight for SereNity.
They've come so far since almost missing out on that first point entirely the first time around on attack.
I thought they weren't going to get on it.
Oh, that would be embarrassing. There we go. On the point. What can Arceus do here? Going to get D-Mex for now. Turmo sitting back with that tack visor. Let's take a look. Surely the answer is 0, Jordan. Surely that's the case. All right. At least something's staying in this world.
Well, even getting that full cap is pretty respectable.
Yes, very good, considering I was saying maybe they won't get the first cap at all. And here they've come and done it twice.
Exactly.
Silly me.
So, Darksided, they need to get the whole first cap and a tick on the second to win this one. If they are not able to secure the first cap, they will lose. If we see them get the first cap and no ticks on the second, then it's a draw.
Draw. I can't do the voice.
Draw.
Draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're better at it than me.
That would be the first one we would actually see here in AU Contenders if that happens. I feel like it's actually quite realistic, getting a tick on the second point after capping the first in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, you'd have to get this one very early. You'd have to come out.
You'd need like a minute and a half or 2 minutes heading into that second point, not to mention you'd need some ultis available. That was the problem for SereNity.
So, quad tank here coming out for SereNity on defense.
Attackers incoming.
Should theoretically go okay against some dive.
Yeah, we did see SereNity run a fairly similar comp on their defense last time, but they did have the Junkrat on Cavino as opposed to the Roadhog. So there's a bit of extra beefiness there for SereNity. I should say porkiness, I suppose. But regardless, SereNity here...
Have you been thinking of that one?
No,
you like have that one saved? If
no,
I get to make a joke
not.
about Roadhog, I'm going to make a joke about it. No?
No.
Okay, I can see it on your sheet.
What?
All right, let's see how this one plays out. Darksided now, I think, on the more difficult side of things here, Jordan. They're under pressure, under the pump.
They certainly are, but what can SereNity do with this quad tank setup? Cavino will be pretty key here. Really the DPS in this scenario for SereNity once more, but obviously playing a tank needs to be getting some pretty big hooks off. Darksided are going to have to figure out how they want to negotiate this one. Focusing down those discorded targets is going to be Premium. Mooney jumping in first and is looking like he's doing quite a fair bit of damage. No kills just yet, but no one getting very low at all right now for SereNity. Mooney down to 26 HP. Someone should clean this one up, and will RKS get the first pick of the round.
SereNity looking to have control of the point now as the rest of Darksiders start to fall away.
That?
And the Coalescence is used as well just for good measure, I guess.
Yeah, maybe a little bit preemptive there from Forballs, to be honest.
Not sure if trying to just find a pick, slow them down.
At least SereNity utilized it to continue the push forward. They staggered Molotov there, so they hunted down Darksided with the, I suppose, warm embrace of the Coalescence. I wonder if it would be warm or not.
I was going to say, what do you think it would be like?
I think it would be warm.
Depends. Do you think it depends who you are, though? Like, because it's both parts. If you're getting healed, you're like, oh, it's like a breeze.
It's like yin-yang.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But Darksided now, Termo has the ultimate. That could be big. No defensive ultimate here for SereNity just yet, though Flurry Ash, the sound barrier does just come up. Darksided, however, have a lot to push in onto this first point with. And SereNity, not a lot to hold onto it with. USMC, keep an eye on the EMP. Termo with the Dragon Blade out already. EMP to follow it up. This is not looking good right now for SereNity as Darksided just carving through them. That's a great hook, but not resulting in a kill. Kivino going to be unhappy with that. And SereNity will have to give up this first point. A minute 19 on the clock. Darksided will get a little bit back up as well once they do cap here. Up to a minute and 40 to get one tick on the second point.
Yeah, that was a great dive, actually. You saw the hook missed. You saw projected barrier went down just in the nick of time, and the Dragon Blade was up. And it was at that point that they dove onto that area, and it picked it up very, very quickly. Heaps of time to work. When I say heaps, I mean a minute 26. And, well, there's that Zarya ult coming out. Not really going to do anything. Slows them down just a little bit, but really... Oh, there we go.
Not sure that it's going to be enough here, though, for SereNity to hold on to. We can see Darksided starting to get that tick on, but as of yet, not in danger territory for SereNity. However, Mini going down. That's beefiness off the field. Arceus has to trickle onto the point. This is looking bad for SereNity. Darksided definitely coming into the point with the advantage, and they cap it out. They will take out map number 3, but SereNity... Oh, they pushed them. They really pushed them.
They did. That was actually a really impressive game coming out for SereNity. And for me, I go now, is this SereNity team better than we thought? Is Darksided not as good as we thought? It's hard when we've only seen them up against teams that theoretically they should have beat anyway.
Yeah, there's still a lot of questions to be answered throughout the rest of Contenders regarding both of these two teams, and still a lot of questions to be answered about this series. It is still possible for SereNity to take us through to the tiebreaker, through to the 5th map. It is still 2-1 right now. And SereNity, like I said, they're really pushing Darksided right now, so it is within the realms of possibility.
It is, and look, I'm just really happy to see that we finally got a game where it's coming out, potential for this game number 5, and finally this upset as well. So it's pretty good. Even if they come out of here losing 3-1, I don't know, maybe SereNity would be disappointed with that. Coming into it, you could say, we played well, you know, nice to grab a map. But after what I've seen, I want them to come out here and really bring this to map number 5.
I'd love to see it, but I'm not so sure it will happen. I guess we'll find out very, very shortly. Now, I want to go back and talk a little bit about that last overtime there for Darksided. They came out of that first point capture with 3 ultis available. There was only the Graviton Surge left for SereNity to hold off that second point. And while it was a decent Graviton Surge, it hit the majority of the Darksided players. You saw, of course, the Transcendence coming across, and it was essentially nullifying anything that SereNity could have gotten out of that.
I'm not sure whether they could have waited and used it there with the D.Va self-destruct. Maybe there wasn't enough time. It was used up top. It slowed them down, but the result was obviously that they couldn't even do any real damage there. So it makes it tough. But overall, that was a really back-and-forth game. That was actually very interesting to watch. And finally, we've got a battle. We've got teams coming head-to-head here that can take it to each other.
Yeah, well, how much of a battle we are going to get remains to be seen. If this series does end up being a 3-1, we're probably going to go away a little bit deflated, thinking, well, what could have been there for SereNity?
As would SereNity, I suspect, if that's the case. So it's 4th map time, Elfishguy. Is it Junkertown or Dorado?
Well, we'll find out. It is going to be SereNity's choice, and they do go for Dorado here. But, well,
Look, I have a good feeling for SereNity.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like, that, you know, like, I agree. Like, I have a decent enough feeling that SereNity can at least contest this one. Obviously, Nepal was a 2-1. SereNity did well in one round, not so well in two.
The other two were pretty bad, yeah.
Fairly close, though. I mean, 2-1. It's as close as you're going to get, I guess, on Control. Well, Hollywood, we saw them win.
I guess the point here, for me, is that it felt that the areas where SereNity struggled was when they were pushing the payload. So maybe here on Dorado, on an escort map, it may not be their cup of tea. Not at least up against Darksided.
You could say the same thing, though, for Darksided. They struggled when they were pushing the payload as well. So, I mean, that as well is the only map that SereNity has won so far in this series, is the one that involves the payload.
It's true, but it was the point where they played really well was the non-payload part.
Yeah. I mean, it's so
hard, that
really.
could just be a coin flip. It could have been just a great pick at the start.
Yeah.
So what does it matter what we think, Jordan? We'll let the game speak for itself here.
It certainly has been speaking quite a lot.
It's been
a
yelling.
stellar series.
It's been yelling. These teams are great.
How great are they? We are about to find out. Darksided starting on defense. SereNity on attack. Cavino with the Widowmaker. Looking for some picks. There's a headshot early on in the piece. Not going to cause too many problems. There's no counter Widow out for Darksided. But there might as well be Molotov. Oh my god.
Wow. We've seen a few of those so far. And, well, if you can get the pick off there from the Zenyatta, it's always nice to take down that Widow, because normally you'd like to think it goes the other way around. SereNity pushing through on attack. But interestingly enough, Darkseid has really been taking it to them early on. They did get pushed off that first lot of high ground. Going to hold this second point for now. Termo building up that ulti charge. And well, Arceus will be demeched as well. Mooney traded back 1-for-1. Getting the picks across the board. But SereNity slowly pushing this through. Where's the res? Arceus comes back. We'll get that mech once again.
Yeah, Cavino's got the infrared on as well. So look for that impact to be occurring, and indeed it is. Good shot onto graphics. Fairly straightforward fight for SereNity. They just utilized their numbers advantage once they got it and started to push forward.
It's been very quick here on the first section.
Yeah, but are they going to be contested for it? Looks like they should just pop it through, but no, in fact, Mooney is there to contest. And Darkseid, they might be able to just hold this one off. Molotov did get dropped early. Swilko, though, with the resurrect. But here comes Termo and USMC. They're the keys right now. Tactical Visor is out for Termo. USMC using the EMP as well. SereNity not going to be able to do too much in this fight. Bubbles picks up Cavino. Not sure that's going to be enough, though, as SereNity are dropping across the board.
Yeah, we saw a res coming out there onto Cavino as well, so I'm not sure how that's going to play out for them. Cavino staying alive for now. Going to use that infra sight and see if they can grab some picks. But you can see that Arceus has gone down, Mini's gone down. They've lost both their tanks here on attack. And that's going to make life even more difficult. Looked like they were so close. They were going to get this first point. But Darkseid had managed to claw it back here and give themselves another chance to hold. Yeah, it was really just a case of the Darksided ultis coming up at the perfect time for them to be able to recontest that point. And now their ult economy is being managed much, much better than SereNity's. Only Fluoro Ash Arceus coming up on the self-destruct now as well, but still 3 to hold off for Darkseid. 3 very menacing ultis there as well. This is going to be a really tough push for SereNity. A good pick to start things off, though, for Cavino. Self-destruct out from both divas by the looks of things. Neither connecting with anything. Arceus will get back into that mech and look to rejoin the fight. Perhaps too little too late. Cavino again is being bullied by the Winston. And SereNity have to fall back once more. Darkseid to continue to hold the point. Cavino may be going down very close. There we go. That's the pick they want. And we'll slow down the process once again. Do you stay on this Widow? Even 90%, the infra sight, I don't know, Jordan. 1 minute on the clock. It's a hard question, really, isn't it? I think it has to come down to Cavino's call here. If he's thinking, I've got this, or if I don't got this. Don't got this is the answer. Got this is the answer, indeed. 90% on the infra site. A little unfortunate for them not to be able to really utilize that, but they needed to change things up. It wasn't working, and they've only got a minute left to work with. So this fight essentially has to work for SereNity, despite the fact that they've got no ultis, and this is the exact problem that they had going into the second point on
Horizon Lunar Colony. EMP comes out from Darkseid, and again, this is going to buy more time for them as SereNity really can't commit to this fight with such a disadvantage.
Yeah, and Covino may not even have enough time here to get an EMP of his own, so that's going to make life very, very difficult, and certainly not now that we've seen him taken down. Maybe they'll get back into one more fight, but it's going to be a big ask to win it from that position.
Certainly is. Nox with the Pulse Bomb, all eyes on him. Big things being asked, and the answer we shall find out very, very shortly. Might just buy enough time for Mini to get Primal Rage up, Arceus to get Self-Destruct up. Let's see what SereNity can do. This is their last chance. Overtime now, ticking 4 balls, picked off early on in the piece though by USMC. Not a good start to the fight at all for SereNity. No. Self-Destruct, can it get anything? No, Arceus again, not managing to land too much. Dragon Blade available, like you say, for Termo. The Self-Destruct already out from graphics, but Termo is going to be the hero for this fight by the looks of things for Darkseid, as he just comes in and takes out a couple of those SereNity players. Not really much more left in this one in the tank for SereNity.
No, Discord Orb is out, but it won't even matter. Mooney finds one, and both tanks now going down for SereNity. A little bit disappointing there. That was so close. And all of that was saved by Mooney coming over the top in the Winston and keeping that point alive.
Yep.
And now what was, or what could have been, a very close map has the potential to look very one-sided.
Indeed, indeed it does. But what can SereNity do here on the defense? Look, it is still defendable. Very, very tough, though, here for them. Wonder if Covino does risk the Widowmaker here again. Had some impactful moments, but also some less than impactful moments throughout the entirety of that round. Looks like some discussions in the SereNity camp as to what they do actually want to run here.
Yeah, we'll see who they want to play. Maybe no Widowmaker on defense. We'll see which one Covino decides he wants to play here in just a second, I would suspect. And Swilko on the other side of things has a Widowmaker.
Yeah, Swilko though...
Covino went okay with the Widow, yeah, but it just didn't have the impact in the end that it needed.
Swilko's the support for Darkseid, so if we're going to see the Widow, it's probably going to be out on Termo. I think maybe this Widow is going to be just utilized out the gate to see if there's going to be an initial pick.
We've seen the go for one free pick, right? Yeah. We saw it before on Hollywood. Potential here to see it again.
I mean, it's an option, really. It's not going to cost any time.
If you can get a free pick at the start, right, it costs you like, what, 4 seconds to get back inside and swap?
Yeah.
So, particularly on this map where you can set up the top as well if you want to. Play some bells. I think this might be GG for SereNity, Jordan. Don't want to imply too much, but it's a big ask to hold this up against Darkseid.
You are not wrong. Let's have a look and see how it does play out, though. Swilko indeed looking for those early picks.
Ooh. Almost
able to connect that one onto Covino. That would have been big, but he's going to go back and swap off onto probably the Lucio.
Yep.
Indeed it will be.
That's what we saw before. So, USMC out on this Tracer. Going to use the recall, stays alive. You see that fight very early on here as well. Up the top, they've dropped back. They didn't really want that first high ground. The second high ground seems more convenient, but Forbles and Covino going down.
Yeah,
see if Molotov can stay alive or whether he's going to get picked off for now.
Well, the trades are actually pretty good here for SereNity.
Yeah, they are.
Keeping the advantages just slightly in their favor, which is what they need to do for the next 3 minutes and 10 seconds. USMC looking for some more, and ordinarily, if you get a 1-for-1 trade here, it's going to favor Darkseid. Their respawns will come into the fight a lot quicker than SereNity's will. But SereNity did just trade one player more effectively in that last one. Again, we're going to see the push, though, from Darkseid. It's a dive in. A lot of damage out from that dash on Termo. But down to 96 HP. Could be under a bit of pressure here. Graphics being demegged, though. Covino has already dropped. Mini going down now as well. A good pickup, though, from Nox with the Pulse Bomb. Does stabilize things just a little bit. SereNity still holding on to this one. The payload not moving right now for Darkseid. Molotov, though, comes up with the Transcendence. The demech comes out onto Arceus. Could this be the opening that Darkseid needs?
Well, it's what they want. Transcendence comes out in response to that sound barrier. And you can see Graphics now coming back through with that mech. Termo's ready to go. Going to get forced back potentially here by this tack visor. And another Transcendence coming out here from SereNity to counter it. 2:15 on the clock. They push through. They stabilize slightly, Jordan. If we take a look at the ults, pretty even, to be fair.
Yeah, Mini can definitely shut down Turmo if he is on the ball. Short of that, Nox is coming up very shortly onto another Pulse Bomb, so 2 USMC. Smoke goes 94% as well on the sound barrier, so that's a big advantage for Dark-sided SereNity. No defensive support ultimates available to them in this next fight. It's going to be a tough hold again for SereNity, and here comes Dark-sided. Nox is getting dropped low, 98% though, and his ulti. Turmo will find Forbles. Again, Kavino left on his own as well. Turmo just finding too much open space there for himself. And Dark-sided, this should be enough for them to push through. USMC gets another one. Moody onto Arceus. It might indeed be time to go home for SereNity, as they are dropping across the board. Good ultimate usage out from Dark-sided, and that is going to be that.
3-1 Elfishguy is the score here. Dark-sided taking down SereNity. But after all of that, I'm not so sure that the score represents or reflects. If you just look at the score, you say, oh, that was probably easy for Dark-sided. Yep, that was the result we expected. 3-1, not so bad. Nice work. But for SereNity, I'm actually really impressed with that. They should, whilst maybe it's a little bit disappointing to get so close and not be able to bring it to map number 5, to say, hey, we took it to Dark-sided today. We only just missed out. It's week 2, right? So there's so much more for them to do in this tournament. A
lot of room to grow for SereNity here. They definitely did look good in this matchup, certainly exceeding my expectations. I did think the Dark-sided were not necessarily shoe-in for a 4-0 here, but I did think that 4-0 was going to be on the cards for them. Unfortunately for them, not the case.
Nope.
They do manage to secure equal first in Group A after week 2 with blank blue, but they could have taken undisputed first place if they would have 4-0'd this matchup.
So many of these games were actually really, really close. Obviously, Horizon, Lunar Colony coming down to overtime. Hollywood doing the same thing on that very last point. Nepal, it was 2 100% to zeros with a very good first point though for SereNity, and in the end, Dorado probably a little bit less close.
Yeah, Dorado was I think the most one-sided of the pool there, which is, I guess, a little disappointing for SereNity there, given that they did choose that map. Who knows how it would have gone on Junkertown? I guess that's probably the question that they would have asked themselves now after that match. But overall, 3-1. I still think SereNity have come out of this one with, you know, I feel like a little bit more respect from me. Whether that means anything or not to them,
probably
I don't think it does. But they get a map at least out of it, which is more than I think most people would have expected.
Yeah, absolutely. So they should be very happy with that result, even if in the end the standings may not be how they felt they played. But we have one more game coming up today. We're finally going to see the guys from Alter Ego going up against Sydney Drop Beds. That's going to be a very tough game. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Game 2. See you soon.